This is Family Time 149. We're talking about emotional intelligence. That's really what all this family time is about. It's about developing our emotional intelligence, which is central to anything we do in life. Too often, unfortunately, in an academic setting, in the classroom, we focus on academic intelligence, which is great. But there are many different types of intelligences. We have creative intelligence, kinesthetic intelligence. But for my money, the most significant, the most important, is emotional intelligence. Because it impacts absolutely everything we do. If we are more capable, if we're better equipped to identify and manage our emotional state, we will be more successful in anything we pursue, in any of our goal areas. And if we don't have a good understanding of our emotions and how our emotions impact our behaviors, if we struggle to manage our emotions, we're going to be in a state of trauma. It's so important for us to recognize how our emotions can take control of us. And by recognizing that, we can take steps to then better manage and utilize our emotions. We talk about in class the elephant and the rider, which was not my example, but it's a great example of how our emotions can take control of us. Our emotions are like the elephant, and our cognitive thought, our higher order thinking, our logic, our reasoning, that's the rider on top of the elephant. And if we have control of the elephant, if we've trained the elephant, then we can accomplish great things. We have all of that strength and all of that power that we can utilize to go the direction we want to go. However, if we don't have control over those emotions, then that elephant is going to take us wherever it wants to go because it's strong. We can't pull it back if we haven't got it trained. That's how our emotions work. If we are able to manage them, to train them, they become a tool for us. We can use our emotional state. But if we let our emotions control us, it's hard to be successful in any field. And we have to recognize how we are individually impacted by our emotions. There's the kind of survival reaction of the fight, flight, or freeze. And we all have that. We all have that when we become overwhelmed emotionally. That we either push back aggressively or we try to flee the situation. When the emotions become too strong, it becomes too much for us, we try to avoid the situation. Or we freeze up. We feel overwhelmed and we can't do anything at all. That happens in the classroom. It happens in our daily lives. And it's important for us to recognize how we react if we're feeling overwhelmed. Do we push back? Do we freeze up? Do we try to remove ourselves from the situation? And those can be positive or negative things. There are times where it's important for us to push back, to stand up. There are maybe times it's important for us to avoid a negative situation. That can be a management tool. But we have to understand how we behave when we're feeling negative emotions, when we're feeling strong emotions, and when we understand how we react, then we can start to implement some things so we can better utilize our emotions. So that's what I want you to do this week. I want you to think about some things that elicit from you a strong emotional reaction, positive or negative, probably a little of both. Get some examples of both kinds. I want you to think how that impacts your behavior. And think of something that actually applies to your daily life. If you're stressed out in a class, use this information. What are the things that are stressing you out? Why are you feeling the way you're feeling? And then consider how that impacts your behavior and how that impacts your learning. I see it all the time where maybe a student will feel overwhelmed, so they shut down. They have that freeze reaction. They're just not going to do anything at all. And that can be kind of a flight response too, where it's I'm just avoiding this. It's too much for me, so I'm just avoiding it as much as possible. Or some who might get combative or a little aggressive. Well, I'm pushing back against this because I'm feeling stressed out right now. We want to be able... Our emotional intelligence is not about getting rid of our strong emotions. It's about understanding them so that we can use them. Spend a little time thinking about our emotional intelligence this week and how we react to things so we can keep working through this phase of self-awareness. And then as we get to self-management, we can start to implement some more tools of how to manage our emotions, how to live by our values, how to pursue our goals, and how to write the next chapter of our stories. Much love.